The danger is not that you have fear or doubt, but it's that you're making decisions that are fear-based and you don't realize it. And second, that you might be lingering in fear and doubt and you're not transcending it. We all have fears, we all have doubts, and we have that in particular when we're confronting something that we haven't dealt with before and we're not quite sure how to handle it. It might produce a level of anxiety in us. We might have questions about how to approach it. We might wonder whether we measure up. Our confidence might be challenged in any given moment. That's natural, no matter what you do. But the goal is to move beyond that. And the goal certainly is to be aware when you're dealing with that so that you can address it and you can make changes that will be more empowering to your quest. I find that many people are operating from a standpoint of fear and doubt, and they are justifying it based on some intellectual discussion. They're essentially saying, well, the problem here really is, this thing, or it's, we have to address that. And in reality, it's really their fear. It's their fear of moving forward without having a particular thing addressed. It's their fear of, they're not knowing what's going to happen or what's going to transpire, and therefore having some concerns and not wanting to deal with that level of discomfort that you feel when you don't know what's going to happen and you're in unfamiliar territory. That's the challenge with fear. It shrinks you. It makes you perform below where you should be. It makes you retreat. It makes you want to do something to avoid that feeling so that you don't have to experience it. I don't like roller coasters. And fear and doubt play in there. Fear of getting on a roller coaster and dealing with it, and doubt that I'll ever do it again because I'm not big in being thrust out, down a hill. And I've had my share of it, and over the years, it's still something that I don't particularly enjoy. I acknowledge that. I deal with that. And that's just one of the realities that is not fun for me. Some people like to go in these things to get thrown around and all that. That's wonderful. Not for me. And I acknowledge that there's some fear there. And it's something that I've always, accepted. But I think that so often we have fear when it comes to growing, when it comes to knocking on doors, when it comes to marketing our businesses, when it comes to investing in certain categories, when it comes to focusing on something. That's a big one. A lot of people won't focus on something because of the fear that they won't be able to do it. The fear that comes, or the feeling they will get, that feeling of failure because they realize that they can't do it and there's more work to be done, and therefore they don't want to deal with that, so they rather move on to something else. I say you've got to confront those fears and those doubts, and you have to make sure that if you're retreating, it's a decision, and it's not because you are retreating because fear dominates so that it's the only thing to do to avoid dealing with that. Make the decision that this is for me or that isn't for me, or I want to go in this direction versus the other direction, or that I want to put my energy, my commitment into this versus this. Don't be robbed of the opportunity, of the potential, of the possibility because you are swirling in fear and doubt. Because what will happen over time is that will harden and you will no longer be honest with yourself about what that really is. You will simply make the case that, that door didn't open for me, or I never learned how to do that, or I couldn't get someone to help me, or any number of things you will use as an excuse. Fear and doubt is a killer of dreams. It's a killer of goals. It's a killer of ambitions. It's a killer of what you can accomplish in your career and on this earth, and what you can do to make your life better and make other lives better. So the first thing is to recognize that we all have fears, we all have doubts, we all have anxieties. So yours are not unusual. But second, it's to decide whether fear has you lingering in a place where you really don't want to be, but you're just accepting. And then confronting that fear and doing what is required to overcome that fear, whether it's learning something new, whether it's developing more courage, whether it's confronting whatever it is, or whether it's getting help and getting support and getting someone else on your team, or whatever it is in terms of involving other people. Fear and doubt is something that we must address. So I hope that you will look at yours as I look at mine, and explore how you can do a better job of addressing them. If you like this tip, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Share it with someone in your network. And make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I have a lot more coming. I'll see you next time.